Good afternoon, or good morning, year fours. Today's maths lesson is to divide 3-digit numbers by a 1-digit number. So our vocabulary that we'll use today is multiples, known facts, equal, and divide. And our steps to success are: I can recall methods to help me divide, I can set my sum out correctly, I can use mental methods or known facts, and I can regroup if there is a remainder. So to begin with, we're going to be doing our starter. So if you have access to Microsoft Teams, you need to go and complete the quiz on Teams and then submit your answers, and they will automatically go to your teacher. If you do not have access to Teams yet, you can do the same starter on a piece of paper at your table where you are now. I know some of you I saw have done the quiz already. Just make sure that you only do the quiz on the day that it is for. Okay, so pause the video. If you've got access to Teams, go and do the quiz and then come back to the video to carry on with the lesson. Okay, well done. Right, today's big question is, can you work out 609 divided by 3? So pause the video and see if you can work out that answer. Okay, so what you would have done is, what we could do is put it into a bus stop. We could have put 609 and 3. And then to help us, we could have written our multiples of 3. And then we would start our division. So the only difference with this sum compared to last week's work is now we are dividing a 3-digit number. So this time we have a hundreds column that we're going to start with. So remember, we don't start in the ones column. It's the column closest to the number we're dividing by. So we'll start 3 goes into 6, or rather 600 divided by 3. So if we look at our multiples at the bottom, we can see it goes 3, 6, that goes in twice, or 200. Okay, then we know that 3 cannot be, will go into 0, so we have that as a 0. And then 3 going into 9, we can see 3, 6, 9. So the answer is 3. Okay, so this one did not need any regrouping, but it's exactly the same method or same steps as dividing 2-digit numbers. This time it's just a 3-digit, and we start with the hundreds column instead of the tens column. Okay, so let's have a go at 2 more of those. So pause the video and see if you can complete this one. Okay, well done. So we would have had our bus stop and 884 inside, and then divided by 4. And then we can also always write out the multiples of 4 to help us. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Just write a few to begin with. Okay, then we start with the hundreds column. So we've got 800 divided by 4. But to make it easier, we can just say 8 divided by 4. So we can see here that 4 goes into 8 twice. So the answer would be 200. Okay, then we move to the tens column. And again, 80 divided by 4 will be 20. And in the ones column, 4 divided by 4 is 1. So this answer was 221. And again, this example did not need any regrouping. It went in perfectly equally. Okay, let's try this one. So pause the video and have a go at this question. Okay, well done. So our bus stop, 478 divided by 2. And again, we're dividing by 2, so it's always a good idea to write the multiples of 2 out somewhere on your piece of paper. Okay, so 2 into 400, or 400 divided by 2, we can see it goes in twice, 2, 4. So the answer will be 200. Okay, then 7. So can 2 equally go into 7? And we can see here it does not go into 7. 2 is not a multiple of 7. So we know it goes in 2, 4, 6 times. So it can definitely go up to 6. So that's 3. But there is going to be a remainder. There's going to be some left over. So Remember, we can also draw our dots. So we could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dots, and then circle groups of 2. So that's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, and then there's 1 left over, or rather 10. And then that would just get joined onto the 8 to create a new number of 18. Okay, and then we can see that 2 will go into 18 equally because it's an even number. So if we had to carry on counting in 2s after 14, we'd get 16, 18. So we can see it goes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or you could have used your halving skills, knowing that 18 halved or 18 divided by 2 is also 9. Okay, so the final answer was 239. So this was an example of where you did need to regroup. But it's exactly the same as when we are doing 2-digit numbers, whether you have to regroup or not. So today's lesson, you're just going to have a practice at 3-digit numbers. So if you're doing the bronze challenge, you will still be focusing with 2-digit numbers this week. If you're going to do silver and gold, we've put it on the same slide for you because you'll be doing the same sums with the extra 3 reasoning and problem solving questions. Now, if you have access to Microsoft Teams, you may go and do the quiz for this activity. If you do not have Microsoft Teams up and running yet, then you just continue watching the video to where your challenge is going to be set. No matter if you do this YouTube video or Teams, it is exactly the same questions. Eventually, we would like everybody to submit their answers on Teams, but for now, if you can only do the YouTube, that is fine. You can still email us your work. So whether you are doing YouTube video or Teams, you can obviously still use a piece of paper to work out the bus stop method. You just need to submit the answers on the quiz. And if you're doing the email, you can just email us a picture of your work. Okay, so if you're doing bronze, these are your 2-digit numbers that you need to divide by 1 digit. And then if you're going to do silver or gold, these are your questions. So like I said before, the quiz on Teams has exactly the same division questions. You'll just have to work them out on a piece of paper and submit your answers that way. Same with the word problems. So I'm not going to put the answers on the YouTube video today because they are on Teams already once you've submitted your work. And if you're going to email us, we will just have a look through your answers to see how you have done. So have fun and enjoy this lesson, and we will continue with more practice with this tomorrow.